Okay guys, this is my video response to David Retro Games Played Badly and my 5 emotional kind of responses to games that I've had. So games that I've had emotional bonds with, if you like, that kind of thing. Now I've got 5 choices, but a couple of choices have a couple of games in them, and we'll get on that why as we get through them. So this is kind of a video I've done a little while ago, probably a year or two ago now. Obviously back then didn't have as many subs, probably not many people had seen the video, and obviously new subs don't tend to go back and watch your earlier videos. So I'm going to redo this again. Some of the stories you might already have heard if you have watched them videos, but there is a couple of new ones here as well. So something for everybody, hopefully. But anyway, here's my 5 kind of emotional ties to games. And it's like I said, I commented on his video. A lot of people don't really get or understand reasonings why people keep things. Don't have to be games, but obviously we have an emotional response to certain objects and things like that. You keep them for either nostalgia or memory reasons. It brings a certain memory out or an emotional response. And these are definitely 5 things that I will always keep due to these kind of memories and stuff. There's plenty more, but these are 5 kind of stronger ones, if you like. So yeah, let's get through these. So number 1, first one, a game, and it didn't really start with this edition. It actually started with the Atari ST version of the game, and that is Bubble Bobble. Now, it's one of my all-time favourite games anyway. I've talked about it many times, and I may have mentioned this before. But back on the Atari ST, we didn't really have consoles and stuff growing up, me and my sister. My mum and dad kind of against just getting a gaming console, because in their words, all it could do was play games. They wanted us to have something that we could also learn on and stuff like that. So they got us an Atari ST, and with like maths programs and stuff for us to learn maths, but predominantly we ended up just playing games on it, and one in particular was Bubble Bobble. And me and my sister got so good at the game and so just synchronized. Both of us knew where we needed to be, when we needed to be there, and just, yeah, we absolutely blitzed the game. We were just so good at it as a pair. And then eventually it came out on the PlayStation, and I got the PlayStation version, and we played this to death as well. It was a little bit, obviously a lot better than the Atari ST version. And yeah, it was the only real game that me and my sister would play, especially together. She wasn't really a gamer at all, and eventually after this, didn't really play games at all. Anyway, kind of just stopped playing. But yeah, this is one of the games that me and my sister would actually play together and enjoy our time together, because growing up, especially as kids, you know, you have that love-hate relationship. You fall out with each other over stupid stuff and fight and argue and stuff. But this, we would always jump on and just get along together with each other. And yeah, it would just be great times, great memories, just playing this with my sister, and just, like I say, being so in sync of knowing where and when to be. It was just, yeah, great memories and games to play. And we do get along now, so that's good. Maybe we'll play some. I'll do a little, if I can get around, we'll do a video and see if we're still as good as we used to be. That could be interesting. But anyway, a few PlayStation 1 games here, actually. So this is definitely a story I've talked about before. I think on the video, similar video I did before. And this time it's Tenchu. Now, it's not particularly, well, I suppose it is the game that brings the memory out, but yeah, this always reminds me of the time I almost died. Yeah. So this is how the story goes, basically. It was before the game, well, just before the game was out. I used to bike to work on a push bike, and it was quite far, and you used to have to go down some main roads and dual carriageway and stuff. But anyway, I was going around an island one morning. It was still quite light. I had lights on my bike. And as I'm going around the island, this car pulled out from the next kind of junction, whatever. And yeah, it was out of my peripheral vision. I could see it was getting quite close. And all of a sudden, that's it. He hit me. I went up the side of his bonnet, hit the windscreen, spun round, and landed on my back. And I swear to God, the reason that the next bit happened because it did is because at the time I was doing a lot of judo, a lot of training, and in that you'd learn break falls. And there's one way if you land on your back, you do a break fall, it keeps your head up. And just the kind of muscle memory of that made me do that when I landed on my back. And because of that, my head was up. And I could see coming straight for me was another car, like literally seconds away from hitting me. And because I got my head up and managed to see it, I managed to kind of roll to the side, out the way as the car went by. Like, split second stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. And, yeah, I was kind of badly injured, I suppose, down my leg and stuff. I was struggling to walk and things. And obviously, I had some time off work. And, yeah, I managed to persuade my mum to go and buy me this game, because it had just come out. And it was supposed to be really good. I heard bits about it. It's obviously just before Metal Gear. And yeah, she bought me this game, and while I was off work, I played nothing but this. And I love the game. It's an absolutely fantastic game. But every time I look at it and play it or see it on the shelf, it always reminds me of that time I had off work because I was ran over and almost got squashed. And yeah, so that's a memory I will never forget. And that game always brings that to the forefront of my mind. I kind of don't really remember or think about that incident unless I see that game. It just brings it out. So yeah, it's one of them weird things. Now, this next one is an emotional response to the game itself. This is one of the games and kind of a part in the game that had the biggest emotional response from myself towards the game. Now, a little bit of story before we get to that bit. I'd not really played this style of game before. So this has a kind of dual meaning, this one. And a friend of mine had bought it. I was around there watching him play it and looking at it and thinking, yeah, it kind of looks alright. And yeah, he was getting into it and stuff, and I kind of got the feel for it. So I went and bought myself a copy and just absolutely loved it from there on, and played all the others, got all the others, really got into this genre of gaming, which is RPGs. The game we're talking about is Final Fantasy VII. So yeah, my mate got me, I suppose, into RPGs and into the Final Fantasy series as a whole. And the emotional response, obviously most people would have hopefully played this game. Spoiler warning, if you've not played it and are going to play this game, there's a big spoiler coming up now, because I need to talk about it. Yeah, there's a part in the game quite far in, after you've made friends with a character, Aerith, and, you know, you're leveling her up, you're taking her on these adventures, spending time with her, you get quite emotional, kind of, almost a love story between her and the main protagonist, Cloud. And then, yeah, that scene, everybody knows it, where Sephiroth comes storming down with his massive sword and kills Aerith. It was just one of the most heartbreaking things I've witnessed in a game. And it really kind of impacted me at the time when I played this, because I played it not long after it came out. And I remember going into work the next day after this incident had happened, and there was a girl I used to work with who was also really big into gaming and the PlayStation stuff. And I went in with just such a somber look on my face and stuff, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, Aerith's dead. And she's like, yeah, it was crazy. And we just, we talked about it for ages and stuff. And yeah, just one of my biggest emotional responses to a game is that scene. Just never had anything like it before. And yeah, it just showed that games can have as much impact on you as, say, like movies and books and that kind of stuff. And that really kind of cemented it then for me. And there's been many others in other games, like feelings and stuff like that, but that was the biggest one, the first one that I ever had. And yeah, we'll always remember that, as I'm sure many people will. And it's kind of a big one, that, especially if you play your RPGs in Final Fantasy series. I know a lot of people either don't like them or don't play them, but yeah, that was a big one. So the next one is not, well, it is these games in particular, but it's not a game. So it's a series of games, and it's a thing we used to kind of do back in the day. So the original Xbox, now when that came out, obviously it was built for co-op, built for 4-player co-op. A lot of the games had 4 ports on the console itself. Now I remember I'd started a new job and there was a guy there who had an Xbox, so we always used to talk Xbox and stuff. Obviously Halo was a big one. So one day he invited me around his house to have dinner and play some Xbox and stuff. And 2 other of his friends were around there, so there was 4 of us. And yeah, we just, from then on, just kicked off their kind of Xbox night, the Xbox parties. So we used to play these 4-player co-op games, the 4 of us. Halo, Halo 2, multiplayer, and there we are. Not even showed it yet. And got obviously the map pack to get all them extra maps. But Brute Force, 4-player, and the Conflict Desert Storms. Oh, got a bit of glare, even though it's a bit naff out today, we've lost that kind of heat wave. So Desert Storm 1 and 2, these were the games we played the most. So these for 4-player co-op, and these for 4-player and more multiplayer. And that, yeah, it just reminds me of the time that, you know, we made new friends from Xbox, real life friends that we used to then just have whole weekends of just playing Xbox co-op and multiplayer and that kind of stuff. And my friend whose house I went around, he also had 3 younger daughters, obviously younger daughters, but younger than we were. 3 daughters and a son, and obviously his missus. So when we played Halo, they'd all jump on as well. We'd all have our Xboxes, so 4 Xboxes hooked up, and that's how the kind of big Halo multiplayer LAN parties started, with us 4 and his kids just playing Halo and just absolutely loving it. What a great time. Eventually, a couple of years later, me and one of the other guys actually got a house together. Not in that way, but you know, he had his missus there, and I just kind of moved out of my mum's to have a bit of what do you call it, independence, if you like. So we moved in, and yeah, every month, at least once a month, we'd have big kind of Halo parties and Xbox parties and stuff. And then after I'd left that house, I went back to my mum's actually for a little bit, due to whatever, and they'd go on holiday, and we'd have massive, huge Xbox parties and Xbox nights and weekends, where we would literally fill the house. So every room would have TVs and consoles in, upstairs and downstairs, cables all over the place, massive LAN parties. We'd invite as many people as we can to fill every single Xbox up. Friends of friends would invite friends, and yeah, it just got absolutely insane and mental. Just, yeah, maxed out Xboxes in every room, TVs everywhere, just playing massive Halo multiplayer battles and that kind of stuff. And yeah, that really kicked off the kind of Xbox parties and nights that we used to have, and I kind of want to bring them back. I kind of held the torch for quite a while, having hosted the events, and especially when I got my first house, we still then kind of continued it for a little while, but obviously with the online and stuff, that's kind of stopped now, and everyone's more grown up and gone on to their separate lives and stuff. But yeah, them games will always remind me of the good old-fashioned LAN parties and that great co-op play that we used to have together. And yeah, just meeting new friends and that kind of stuff was, yeah, just awesome. So, on to the last choice. And again, this is a memory from 2 games that I have. One on the Xbox 360, one on the PlayStation 2. Now, these games are Oblivion on the 360 and Final Fantasy 12 on the PS2. Now, these games spark up loads of memories, loads of different memories and emotions. Mainly because just before Final Fantasy 12 come out, actually, no, that had just come out. Yeah, I got it, and then I actually moved to Germany. I lived over there for quite a few years, and I wasn't working per se over there, more than helping out around various things. But yeah, I obviously had a lot of time to myself, and in the day I would play these 2 games. For months and years on end, did nothing but play these 2 games. Got so many hours into Oblivion, did almost everything. Unfortunately, I think my save got corrupted or I lost it somehow, and I don't think I've been on it since. So I keep looking at it and just remember them times, everything I've done on it. I do keep meaning to go back to it, but it pains me to know I have to start again. And yeah, Final Fantasy 12, like I said, just come out when I was going over there, I think. It come out of nowhere as well. I don't remember it being advertised as coming out, so it was kind of a surprise. I just grabbed it, went over there, and just, yeah, I remember just sitting on the balcony in the sun, just playing this game for days on end, and yeah, having nothing better to do, and it was just great. So playing them 2 games for months and years, putting loads of time in while I was in Germany, and just remembering, obviously being over in Germany and all that kind of stuff, brings a load of other memories back as well, which I'm not going to talk about now. But yeah, just has big emotional responses to those games. So they are my 5 games: Tenchu, Final Fantasy VII, the Xbox games, the Brute Force, Conflicts, Halos, Oblivion, and Final Fantasy 12. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed, guys. Hope there's been something kind of interesting here for you to listen to as I waffle on about games and my memories and emotional state throughout. Be great to see and hear other people's views on these video responses. I've seen in the comments quite a few other people said they're going to do it. So looking forward and looking out for them videos coming up soon. That'd be great, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. This wasn't what I was going to do today, but after just watching the video, I thought I'd just jump on and do this straight away. Got quite a few pickups and stuff to do videos on, so there's some other stuff coming when I get time to film it. Just a bit busy at work at the minute. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys soon. So take care, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.